Hey friends, this is Brian with the Kentucky Woodsman, and just sitting here after the 4th of July, relaxing on this long weekend, and thought I would invite you to take a look into my packs. So join me here on this episode of the Kentucky Woodsman. Okay, in my pack, I went ahead and got a Cordova pack. I got it at the Kentucky Gun Company. They're right down the road from me, and they make a few different types of packs. And what I did on it, it used to have one single shoulder strap that just went kind of a side bag carry and went over one shoulder and back down. I didn't care for that too much, so I went ahead and cut that off. And I had some extra backpack slings I bought out at the flea mart, and just sold those on, so I've got two of them. And then in the center of them, they've got a little snap, and it snaps together right in front of your chest to keep your shoulder straps from falling off. So I like that set up pretty well. And all I did was I put a little pocket compass on there where I go. You know, it's around Taylorsville Lake. If you know the way the lake runs, then you know where north, south, east, and west is. So unless I'm going to go to somewhere like Daniel Boone National Forest or whatever, where it's hundreds of thousands of acres, then I don't really need a compass even too much. So I just got this little compass. Saved my big compass from a big pack where I'm going out for a few days and going to be going everywhere. So anyway, that's what I've got going on. Put these two shoulder straps on here, and it works real nice. My pack ahead of time, I'll just let you know, it weighs somewhere around between 15 and 20 pounds, so it's not too awful much. It's still considered a pretty light pack, anything that's that light. So I've got my basics in here as far as fire starting, container, cordage, and all. I've got we'll get into that in a bit. So everything is pretty much, my basics are covered. And then I've also got a few other items. You can take in some comfort items too that you don't necessarily need, but they make the camping trip enjoyable. So I still am going light enough on my pack where I don't really hardly even notice it on my back. So with that, I had some room in my pack. I thought, well, I'll throw a few comfort items in here too. So anyway, let's get to looking at it here. So the first off, what you'll see on top is I've got a pan, and I've strapped it down. I did just have these straps, but it kept wanting to come loose. So anyway, I threw this cord around it, bungee cord, and I went ahead and put it on there. I've got it run right through, and then I strapped that so it doesn't fall off. And it's just a pan. If I want to fry up some squirrel or bluegill, then it's kind of deep. You can see, judging there. And not too big, good enough for a bass fillet or a whole squirrel or whatever, and a long enough handle on it too, to where I won't get burned in the fire messing with it. So I like to bring that with me in case I want to fry something up. And so that's my first item there. My second item on the back here is, this is kind of a luxury item for me. When I go camping with my son, ain't no fun getting ate up by mosquitoes all night, and we can all rough it, and that's fine. But I've got a bug net in here. I mean, it weighs literally ounces. It's so light, and I can just throw it over the top of my tent, and just wrap it around me and keep the mosquitoes off from eating me up all night long. So that's what I got right there. This costs probably 10-15 bucks, something like that. You can find them at places like Sportsman's Guide or something like that, and it just beats getting ate up all night long. So that's my bug net, and I just tied it on. Right here I've got a poncho, and got that at the flea mart too, and it's just an old Vietnam poncho that also doubles as a little half pup tent. So I can go ahead, and if it's raining or whatever, I'll just put this over the top of me. It's big enough to go over my pack too, and keeps me dry. and then all I got to do is stake it out, and I've got a nice dry place that I can sit under and work under or whatever there too. So, and again, this here, it's kind of a rubberized. It might weigh 2 pounds, something like that. So it's not too bad at all. I've got my cordage for tying it up to, wrapped around it. So anyway, that's something that I choose to carry with me just in case I'm out romping around and hunting or whatever and I get caught in the rain. I've got my poncho, or if I need to camp out, I've got my shelter right there. So as you see up front here, I just have my camera tripod. What I do is I just run it right through, and that way I can take a light camera tripod with me. This one here folds out to length, and then you twist it and it folds back up again. And I usually take this one rather than my big tripod with me because it's really super light. And anyway, I can fit it on my pack, and whenever I want to take some shots of fishing, whatever, then I have that with me there too. So on the side here, this is a tube that I made up, just put a little camo on it, and it's got my collapsible fishing rod on it, and I take it out and it all slides together. So it's a really nice little fishing rod. It throws pretty light lures pretty good, and everything on it just puts in, you press it into each other, and it ends up making about a 6-foot rod, somewhere around there, and then everything goes right back in here. So and you got to juggle it around a little bit, but there you go. So that's my fishing rod right there. Going to the inside of the, well, I carry some water also on the outside, and this does real well. All I did with this is I just took one of these bungee cords. You can buy a set of them at Walmart, and I took a set of them and ran it through all my ties on there, put the bottom through, and take it up over the top and strap my water on. It holds it secure for me. So that's a nice thing to have. I take that with me along with my I usually just put this on my belt, my canteen, and it holds water. And then down inside I've got my canteen cup, and that one's usually what I'll cook out of, or disinfect my water or whatever, and then refill it up in here. So, and then on the side there, my package of hot chocolate. Love my hot chocolate. Okay, so anyway, I've got an extra knife here. I carry one on my belt, and then I carry one here, and then I also carry another one right here. And so, I've got 2 belt knives, which, if you just got one, something happens to it, then pretty much you're out of luck. So you always need to carry 2. So this is my other belt knife. And then this knife, honestly, it's so light that, and it just whittles so good that I just love this knife here too. So I thought, well, what would it hurt? I mean, I'm only pushing 15 or 20 pounds. What would it hurt to have another knife that's real comfortable to whittle with? So just threw that one on there for the heck of it. That's a luxury. Got my sharpener on the side, and that's a Lansky sharpener. So it does real good. It's got the coarse and fine, and it'll sharpen the knife up real super fast. Love to carry that with me because if you're doing a lot of work with your knife, you're going to need to sharpen it. So anyway, that's kind of something I bring along with me too there. So there we go. And then to go inside of my pack, let me see. We'll just go into the main pack down here. It's got a few little places in it. What I've got inside of here is I carry my fishing reel. It's kind of compact, little Shimano, I think 100Q, the smallest one they make, with about a 6-pound line on it, and it does real good. And then I carry my Baco Laplander saw, and I tell you folks, if you want a saw that's amazingly good, I took a bow saw which cuts wood pretty quick, and I put it against this one, and this one cut off a limb 4 times faster with 4 times fewer strokes than even a bow saw did. So Baco really knows what they're doing with the teeth on their saw, and I would recommend this saw highly. It is so efficient and so fast. It's almost no effort at all to cut wood with this, so I love it. I don't know how long it lasts. I've only had it for a year, and I've used it pretty good, and it seems to still be really sharp as when I got it out of the box too. So that's a saw. You can see the name of it, Baco. I would highly recommend if you want to get your saw. Okay, and then I always take some pruning shears with me, and you know, the smaller branches or whatever I'm going to whack off, or you know, just whatever. It just makes it so much quicker than sitting there sawing or hacking with a knife. And again, it doesn't weigh anything, so you know, I'm 15-20 pounds. You know, anything under 30 pounds is going to feel like you don't have anything on your back at all. So you know, why not? That's the way I look at it. Some folks say, well, you know, you only should carry the necessities, and you know, I've got one of those packs too. It fits on my belt, and I've only got the necessities, but you know, this is the one I take out with me if I'm fishing or hunting or just want to camp for a night or two. Then this has everything I need in it. So okay, here I've got what I cook on normally, and this one here is a little Stanley, and it comes with 2 cups, 2 little green cups that slide in it, and I didn't care for them too much. So what I did is I went ahead and bought this GSI cup, and I think I got it at Bass Pro Shop or whatever. It does real good, and it just cradles right in there just perfect. So anyway, I just take both of them together, and it does real well. This one here also has where you can pour out your water if you want to, but I like this pretty good. Inside of it, what I've got is I've got my bag. I like to drink some coffee every now and then, but so I've got my sugar. I've got a little thing of creamer, and it's probably enough for about 5 cups of coffee or so. And then I've got my breading for my squirrel. There's a certain kind of breading. It's made out here in Bloomfield, Kentucky, that Bloomfield Farms, and it's good on squirrel, so I usually pack that with me. It's okay on fish, you know, but mostly squirrel. And then that way, if I am successful at getting something, well, I got something to cook it with. And I just take all that stuff and stuff it down here in my pack, put the lid on, and we're set to go. There we go. I just put that down there now. And then got me a little fork and spoon and knife set that I use. Again, really super lightweight, fits together. I use that one. And then something I found too for flipping eggs. Sometimes I'll take some eggs with me in the morning, and I'll just put them in a Ziploc and put them in the water where it's cold, and that'll keep them. But this is pretty handy right here for just you know, flipping your eggs if you want. And also you can peel potatoes with it too, so sometimes make some potatoes and onions. That's kind of a dual tool. Again, it weighs hardly nothing. My whole pack, 15-20 pounds, you know, what the heck. So and then I've got my oil for cooking my bluegill or my squirrel in. And you know, last time I went out, I actually liked the bluegill cooked in the coals with the lemon pepper better than I did fried even. So I think I'll probably start leaning that direction. Had a real nice smoky taste to it, and it was less greasy. So I just scaled the fillet, or scaled the bluegill, and I put about 3 cuts on each side, and then sprinkled my lemon pepper on each cut, and then cooked it on the coals, and it was delicious, folks. So anyway, get out and give that a try right there, you know. And then if I'm camping for a couple days, what I like to do too is I like to have something I can write down, you know, what's going on, kind of like a journal. Got my pens right there. And also, I'm a Christian. I love to read my Bible too. So anyway, I brought me a little New Testament with me, and I like to read that, you know, when I'm having my downtime. It's just enjoyable to be able to relax and read God's Word too. So that's what I take with me in the back of my pack right there. So Let me throw this stuff back in here and get back in the other packs here. Okay, and I forgot to mention here while I had this open, up in the top right here I have my fire starting section up here. So in this part right here, as you saw on my video where we're cooking a bluegill by the creek, I've got my magnifying glass in here, and I just keep that down in there to keep it clean and all. And it's made out of glass and not plastic, because I found that plastic gets scratched up. But if I put it in this leather case, then you know, it won't get broke or anything, and it stays pretty clean. And then I've got a couple of lamp wicks down in there to where I can get the ends hot and then transfer my glowing end into my tinder and blow it into a flame and get the fire going. So I always keep that there, and this keeps it pretty dry right here. I also have made a video on my cotton balls with the Vaseline on them, and they start a fire really quick with your ferro rod. So I've got just a few of those in here. Now on sunny days I like to use my magnifying glass all I can, and then, you know, if it's real damp and everything, then, you know, I'll go to a lighter if I've got to. I've got my lighter in here, but normally I'll use something like a ferro rod, which will keep that in here also. So depending on what the day's looking like and the weather, depends on what method I'm going to use to start a fire. So I've got every method covered in that that I care to use. And so anyway, that's my fire part right there. Okay. Alright, so in the top part up here, what I've got is, this is my, let me open this back up so it don't dump out. This is my, got a little water purifier drinking straw. I got this, I asked for it for Christmas, and anyway, it comes in real handy if you run out of water and don't have time to purify anything, or don't feel like it. And you just stick this tube in there, and it's made by Frontier, and I've already used it, and boy does it do good. The water tastes so good. It takes all the bad taste out and all the anything that's settled in the water that could do you harm, you know. And then after you're done, then you just dry it out, and it dries out fairly quick. In about 24 hours it's dry as anything. And I just keep it in this little bag, a porous bag, so that it'll continue to dry out. I've got my first aid kit, got a bunch of Band-Aids, got some Tums, got some headache medicine, you know, got some Bactrim Band-Aids, you know, that sort of thing, just in case, you know, something happens when you're out camping and all. And then if I'm going to stay there a while, I've got a little bit of soap and shampoo, and something for scrubbing up my dishes. Like to keep them clean. You know, something to pull out splinters, a pair of tweezers, nail cutters, earplugs in case someone's snoring. Don't forget about that one. And then a little pair of scissors. You know, none of this stuff weighs a whole lot at all. Got a set of hand warmers in here in case it's in the winter time, and then of course my toothpaste and all, and then the thing of tissues in here. So, you know, none of this, again, weighs very much at all, and just the convenience of having it, you know, in a 15-20 pound pack, it's worth it. So again, I've got another pack that is just the bare necessities, and I'll make a video on that one too, and show you. You know, if you want to rough it, daggone, you can rough it all you want to. You don't have to take nothing but your knife, but you know, depending on what you want to do out there, it's nice to have some comfort items. Okay, so that's those compartments right there. That fishing reel's the thing that's keeping this from shutting all the way. I need to come up with another system on what to do with that fishing reel, so anyway, I haven't yet. Okay, so the next thing is in the very top part right here. It's got a little place up in here, and I don't even know why I carry these. You know, I've never used them once, but it's to hold a tarp. So you just clamp them down on the edge of your tarp, pull it tight, and they're just dead weight, I think. I probably won't even mess with them anymore. But, you know, they're in there. And normally what I'll do is I've got a little trout line, 25 hook, that I'll put out. And usually on 25 hooks, I'll catch about 2 or 3 catfish, which is more than enough to eat every day. So I usually keep my little trout line down in there. And, you know, you can wade out into a creek and run your trout line and just be real careful, you know. Or I'll take my canoe and run my trout line, and that gives me at least something that I can be eating on throughout the day. Catfish is pretty good, so that's what I keep in that part right there. Down in here, what I carry is I've got a little light, a headlight, and you know, I just bought this one here. It's 150 lumina or lumens, and I tell you what, that's pretty darn bright. Anything that's like 100, probably 125 or so and up, you can see frog's eyes real good when you're frog gigging. And this one here is just as bright as anything. I mean, it shines out. That fence out there, I don't know if you can, I don't think we're, let me see if I can. That fence way out there, it's probably a good 50, 75 yards. I mean, it lights it up real easy. So, you know, that's more than what you need to be walking around the woods or frog gigging or anything there too. So, anyway, I got that. Really like it. Real happy, it leaves both hands open. And then what I do too, I've got my lemon pepper season that I sprinkle on my fish. And then I've got another seasoning too that tastes really, really good. I can't remember the name of it. Something Simple Creations or whatever, but man, that's good on squirrel right there. So that's my 2 spices that I like to take with me that really taste good on the animals I like to eat. So that's those 2 right there. Out of the way. And then in here, what I normally carry, I got a package of sardines, and you know, the good thing about those is you can eat the scraps if you take the guts out. Some folks just eat them whole, you know, guts and all. But anyway, you can bait a trap or 2 with it, maybe catch you a coon or a possum. So that's why I usually take that. Is I'll eat most of it, I'll clean out the bones and the guts, and then I'll save those for putting with my traps. And you know, there's enough guts there where you can bait a couple of traps. And out of 4 traps, I think last time I trapped, I didn't trap last year, but the year before, out of 4 traps, I ended up in 4 days catching 1 coon and 2 possums. So, you know, there's something that you can eat. Got some soup, some hot chocolate, breakfast oatmeal, different flavored like maple syrup and all that stuff. Got some flavored water, things that you can pour in your water if you're just tired of drinking water like it is. So anyway, that's some things as far as my drinking, you know, pack. And then I was looking for this. This is my other straw that I was looking for, and I found it here. So anyway, I've got 2 of them in this one pack. I'm going to take one out. All right, and then in the top part of my pack here, what I keep in here is basic fishing things. I've got a few little lures that I use, and the lures that I've got, I'll tell you, I catch the heck out of stuff with them in our creeks around here. I've got a little fake imitation crawdad, and then I've also got the little Rapala or Rapella, whatever you want to call it. It's only the 1.5 inch silver, and man, bluegill tear that up, bass tear that up, crappie tear it up, everything does. So that's probably my favorite lure in a creek, and so I always take that one. And then I've got a little grasshopper popper that really tears the bass up too. So anyway, that's the lures that I take with me. And then inside this one, I've got some trout line hooks if I want to do some bank lines. I've got a little extra line in here, and then a bunch of little tiny jigs, and some flies. And you know, that's the ones that if you got to eat something, then you know the fish will always bite something small. And then what I've done on this here, my last time I went out, I went ahead and tied a fly onto a tube jig, and a bigger bluegill. Let's see if I can unwrap this here. A bigger bluegill will just go ahead and eat this this tube jig here, which I've had some good success with, and then the smaller bluegill will hit this fly that's trailing it. So I've got two lures that I use on one, and you know, when you do that, you always catch something. So anyway, that's what's going on with that one there. And then I put in a spinner and a few little extra hooks and flies, and you know, just something to where whatever they're biting on, I can cover it, because you get out there, you like to eat, you know, and it's actually pretty easy to catch something out there, as long as you got the right things to catch them on. So anyway, that's what I got in my fishing part. I've also got a little extra line. South Bend makes a little spool of line that comes in real handy. So I've got some extra line, and you know, it's really neat because let's say my rod breaks or something. I've seen a couple of guys, I hadn't tried it yet, but I'm going to, where they'll cut a stick and round the end off, and they'll tie this line straight to it and wrap it up, and then put their lure on it, and then you cast it just like a rod, and it throws the line out, and then you reel it up with a stick. So that's just like a second fishing rod, because there's sticks everywhere you can use. So anyway, I keep extra line, and then something to reach down in and get the hook out, because it never fails. I always swallow the hook on you. And then just a couple little bobbers in case I want to use something like a worm or whatever. So that's in my fishing pack right there. So I'll put that back in here, and got another one to show you. And then in the back here, what I've got is, always carry my froggy, and I made up a little cardboard piece and then duct tape it. Duct tape's flammable if you want to start a fire with it. Otherwise, you got the frog gig for going ahead and catching you some frogs. And my son and I went out. We got a camping video out that we did, and ended up getting a couple of frogs with this. I just cut me a long willow limb and mounted this on it, and then we ended up eating that night, and eating pretty good with the frog legs, so they came in handy. And then I've got some number 18 bank line, and you know, that comes in handy with anything. You can split it if you want extra cordage, see how that come apart, or daggone, just do some bank lines or whatever you need to do with it. You've got the strongest cordage that there is right there. I think it's like 200 something pounds or 300 pounds, so you know, if you take it apart, that's 100 pounds per strand, which is more than enough for what you would need out there, you know. So anyway, in the back of my pack, I showed you I've got my knife back here, and then carry a little hatchet, which honestly I was thinking about maybe taking that out. I don't really use it often. I got my knife in here and my saw already, but you know, I thought, well, okay. And then here I've got a little solar light, recharges itself, made by Railvac, and you know, just for doodling around the camp or whatever. Don't have to use up your good batteries on whatever. I'll use this as much as I can, unless I'm frog gigging or something. And then every day it recharges itself. So that's a nice little light made by Railvac that I keep handy with me, you know, just in case there. So, well, friends, that's my pack, and you know, it serves me well. It does a good job. Got a lot of stuff that is convenience in there, but you know, it makes camping fun. So anyway, I enjoy getting out and outdoors and catching some fish and hunting and all, and trapping, and gonna do some more videos for you coming up. And that's just a few of the things that I like to take with me when I'm out there, and you know, it makes it a very enjoyable time. I've got pretty much everything I need. If I needed to, you know, I could just take the very necessities and make up everything. You saw my video on making your own frog gig. It did real well. We got a few frogs with it, and so you know, it's always good to have those skills where you don't need this stuff. And again, I'll show you another video on my necessities pack where I don't take all this stuff with me. But this is my main pack that I take with me. I've got a little bit bigger pack if I'm going to stay for 3 to 5 days. Then mainly all it is a few extra things in it, a little extra flour, you know, a little extra, you know, stuff to keep you going, to mix with the game that you catch and all. So thank you for coming with me here and spending this time with me on this beautiful Saturday after the 4th of July. And you know, if you got a video camera and you got your pack, then make up a video and show me what's in your pack too, and why you put it in there. So God bless you, and God bless this great nation that we have, and I'll see you next time on